Today's video is episode 2.
Like, it would take you a week to visit every Goodwill in Portland.
That needs to be a thing.
Right.
My husband's full of great ideas, but this might be my very favorite. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be taking you with me to every single Goodwill within the Goodwill Industries of the Columbia Willamette. I went on their website and guess what? It turns out that there are over 55 Goodwills in this region. So join me as we travel around Washington and Oregon, thrifting each Goodwill, looking for items to resell. This is going to be a thrift series you are not going to want to miss, so don't forget to subscribe. And let's go check these Goodwills off one at a time.
You are biting off something.
You put the idea in my head and I am running with it. Today I am taking you to a new group of 4 Goodwills and we're going to look for some sweet deals. Our first stop today is going to be Forest Grove Goodwill. This is a beautiful brass bowl. I love that it's got the 3 balls on the side. That's a beautiful accent detail. It is signed on the bottom and it's not a made in India brass dish. It says Me Tawa, T-A-W-A, Holland. It is $7.99. This bowl is stunning. This is gonna be a really hard one for me to decide if I can let go of it and sell it. It's so simple and sleek, but yet it has this amazing detail here on each side of it, which really makes it look different, and it's nice and heavy. The quality is there. When you buy modern made brass, it's usually not even real brass. It's typically just sprayed to look like brass. It's going to be really lightweight, the color is going to flake off eventually, and it's not going to be durable. So if you're looking to add more brass to your home, I highly encourage you to hit those thrift stores or vintage stores. Even Etsy and eBay are great places to find the good old brass secondhand. If you've followed me for a while, you know exactly why I am picking this up. It is $7.99. This is a tiki lantern. It is not old, it is not vintage, but it's going to be perfect to add to our tiki party that we are having this summer. Here is a beautiful handmade studio pottery plate. It's got a really beautiful design on the top. It's a nice small size and it is only $1.99. I talk a lot about mixing and matching patterns and different textures, and this is a perfect example of a piece of pottery that has a pattern on it that will still go with quite a wide variety of other patterns. This is handmade and it has the artist stamp on the back, and it was only $1.99. Here is a pair of brass etched vases. These have kind of different designs on them. I've never seen anything quite like these. They are $7.99 each, so that's $16 for the pair. These aren't incredibly valuable, but the fun etched design makes them more valuable in my opinion. I always have to factor in the cool factor when I'm looking at things for resale. I paid $16 for the pair, but because of the cool factor, I think these are worth between $30 and $40 for the set. I see some potential in this wooden box. It needs some love. It definitely needs some wood oil, but I'm addicted to saving things that I just know have more potential than what you can see at first glance. It is $3.99, and this entire thing is made out of solid wood. I just can't help myself when it comes to a piece of wood that I just know needs a little bit of work. I think I'm always worried that these things are going to end up in the landfill because everyone's going to overlook their potential. As vintage resellers, we are often looking for things that don't need any work work, that are easy to ship, and something that's gonna sell quickly. However, I just can't help myself when I see this type of stuff, and I'm gonna show you this wooden box's full potential. Here is a single wooden goblet. It is a green tag $1.99. We're gonna get this. Now, I'm never scared of buying a single goblet because when you buy single goblets, you can easily put them together in a set of 3 or 4 and then sell them together as a mixed matched set. At my studio, I have picked up a different wooden goblet that will balance out really well with this, so I think I will sell them as a pair. Whether you're a vintage reseller or you are just looking to decorate your home with secondhand finds, don't be scared to pick up a single item, because personally I think that the most interesting homes that I visit are ones that have been built slowly over time, mixing and matching different unique pieces together. Again, this was only $1.99 for a nice solid wood goblet. Not bad. I like this wooden candle holder, very classic traditional design, which can be a great crossover piece. It is $4.99 for a nice hand-turned solid wood candle holder. That is a great deal. The best thing about this design is that it is made to be able to put a tall pillar candle in it, a medium-sized pillar candle in it, or a nice tall candle. Talk about universal. All 3 different styles in one candle holder. Not bad for our very first stop of the day. Now we are gonna head to McMinnville, Oregon, and I'm gonna take you to a Goodwill that I frequent often. You see it in my videos quite a bit. That's because it's one of my favorites and I always find good mid-century stuff. I'm loving the tree design on this piece of pottery. It is $7.99. It's kind of like a chimney style, so you would actually set this over a candle. It kind of reminds me of some of the trees that I saw in Japan. If you've come across these before and you're not quite sure what they are, you look at them and you're like, where's the bottom? How am I supposed to put flowers in it? Or the water would come right out of here. I'm pretty sure that these are supposed to be put over candles, and the light will flicker through all of these openings, but you've got to have an open top because otherwise it will smother the candle. There's nothing that screams mid-century more than orange glass. This large bowl is Indiana glass and it's in a cool lotus flower shape. It has a beautiful ombre tone to it, starting out bright orange and then kind of fading into yellow as it goes down the bowl. It is $14.99 and I believe that these sell online for over $50. No chips or cracks, so this is a very good find today. This is a really fun one. Now, you do not see me decorate in my house with orange and red and yellow. The colors are just too stimulating for me for what I want in my home, but I love seeing others decorate with these bright, fun, vibrant colors. So even though I do try to keep my shop themed in the kind of neutrals and blues and green color tones that I prefer, I know it's really important to make sure to have things that fit everybody's style. So when I find something from the mid-century era that is as fun and in good a shape as this, I've got to pick it up for those of you who love this color palette. Plus, things like this kind of make me have to get get out of my comfort zone and kind of rethink how I could decorate with colors that I'm not instinctually drawn to. So this will be a fun one to style up. This is such an 80s or early 90s clock. It reminds me of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air or even Saved by the Bell. It's $4.99. It is not a high-end clock, but I still think it's got a really fun look to it. Pretty much every home has a clock, so picking up clocks if you're a reseller is kind of a solid investment because everybody decorates with clocks, whether they're little tiny ones that are set on a stack of books or dramatic ones that take up a wall. Everybody uses clocks. I love finding things that look like they were stuck in a specific decade, pulling them out of that decade, mixing them with other items, and completely transforming how they look. Now, if you put this clock with a bunch of pastel Easter colors, it's gonna look very 80s. Or if you took it and you put it with lots of bright reds and greens and yellows and went for more of a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air look, you could make it look very 90s. I'm gonna decorate this by pulling out the fact that it actually looks kind of like speckled granite. So I'm gonna run with that and do something completely different. Here is a pair of silver-plated candlesticks. They have a nice, tall, and simple, sleek design to them. They're very classic, so they would go with any style. They are $4.99, and it looks like the stamp on the bottom says Italy. Made in Italy is almost always a good thing because Italian goods, even to this day, are made with such a high standard of quality. If you see pottery signed Italy, get it. If you see jewelry signed Italy, get it. If you see a leather handbag with an Italian label, get it. Sorry, I'm such an enabler. I just told you to buy anything that says Italy on it. But truly, these are really well made and they have such a classic and timeless look to them. As soon as I spotted this picture, I knew it was a Bennett Welsh. This is his wheat design. It is $4.99. The more that you learn patterns and stamps as a reseller, the quicker it is for you to identify something when you see it on the shelf. Bennett Welsh's work is really collectible, especially when you see the B. Welsh signature on it. I actually collect Bennett Welsh, but not in the wheat design, and I will insert a picture right here of the pattern that I collect. I only use these for special occasions, and so every time that I pull them out, I get excited about them all over again. I'm going to give you a quick top pro tip. When you find something in a thrift store, it does not matter what kind of thrift store it is, and you love it, you know it's valuable, make sure that you take a few moments to check every single shelf in the store. Because as soon as I found that one Bennett Welsh, I knew that whoever donated it very likely could have had more. And they did. This is a different pattern by Bennett Welsh. Look at the size of this pot. It is $12.99. Look at the gorgeous lid. I love the style of this. This isn't the pattern that I collect, so I am gonna sell this one. But if this would have been in my blue pattern, I literally would have been jumping up and down because I do not have a pot this size with that pattern. You do have to think about shipping when you buy fragile pottery this large. This is actually very heavy. So this might be something that I hang on to and sell locally, or even pass this off to one of my fellow vintage resellers that currently has a vintage mall space that they can sell it in. I just really want to make sure that it ends up with somebody who knows what it is and who appreciates it, and hopefully somebody that collects that pattern. These plates are so beautiful. They look like they're hand painted. Oh my goodness, these are signed Italy on the back. These two little ones are $1.99 each, and the larger ones are $2.99 each. There's only 2 of the small ones, but there are 3 of the larger plates. We're gonna look on these shelves and see if we can find any more pieces to this set. These are beautiful, and this is why you look for the rest of the set. I didn't find any plates, but look at these beautiful tea mugs. And these are also $1.99 each. I am so excited about this set. The only thing is I'm bummed that I didn't find more of the plates, especially the ones to go with the teacups, the saucers. I think these are geraniums, which you see everywhere in Italy, and I love that it has the leaf on the other side. The design is absolutely gorgeous. I love these. I so wish that I would have found more of them. I am going to be selling these, so keep an eye out for these in my next shop sale because these are going to go very fast. Oftentimes sets get separated in the sorting process at Goodwill. To my great surprise, they actually have been out for a week and a half based on the dates on the tags, which I can't believe. Like, that's shocking to me. If you are local and you found the rest of that set, let me know. Please comment below. Well, McMinnville turned out to be awesome. We got some really great things there. And now we are headed to our third stop for the day in Newberg, Oregon. These plates look like they are handmade. There are 2 of them. They've got a nice, simple, neutral design with little polka dots on them in blue and brown. They are $3.99, and they are signed by the artist on the back. You know I love handmade studio pottery. I just can't pass it up. These are really pretty and simple, and what I really like about them is that the design is on the outside rim, so these will work really good to layer with something else because there's not a big pattern going on here in the middle. Here's a handmade studio pottery bowl. It is only $1.99. It's got the artist's signature on the bottom. It's nice and neutral, and the colors are really pretty with that blue and gray tone to it. It's just a single bowl, but it was only $1.99. I'm probably going to hang on to this until I find maybe 2 or 3 other bowls. Then I will probably sell it in a set of 4 with different mix-match designs. these candles would be fun. We use a lot of color for the tiki party, so the bright color will work well. They've never been lit, and they are $1.99 each. We host an annual tiki party every summer. Our third annual party is coming up in August. Throughout the year, I find more decorations, and we just add a whole nother layer of decorations to the party. So these will be perfect to add to that. I don't know a lot about metal and the different ways that it's cast or pressed, but I always look for things that have a really nice heavy weight to them when I'm looking at iron candle holders. It's got a seam going down the center, so I wonder if it was made in some kind of a mold. It's only $3.99. I still have a lot to learn when it comes to vintage. I'm learning new things every day. I've been trying to learn more about glass, and I just realized that the other area I'd really like to focus on is metal. I want to learn the different techniques and different ways that metal was cast over time, because I know that that will help me identify the age and the location that something might have been made. I'm always looking for clocks to use in staging, and sometimes I even buy clocks that are broken or slightly damaged because I don't want them to end up in the landfill and you can't see the damage when I'm decorating with them. So I like to try to save them. I don't know if this one will work, but it's adorable. It's very tiny and it's only $2.99. These actually do sell online for $20 or $30, and I just think it's a really cool little tiny one, which is perfect because sometimes I have a stack of books or a little nook that I just want to add a few small details to. In the episode 1, I was talking about how I'm really into ribbed glass canisters, and here is another one. This time it's got kind of a fun shape to it, and it has a warm, smoky color to the glass. It is $2.99. I love this one. I think this one's so much fun. And I actually have some carved wooden canisters that have lids on them that have this rippled ribbed design. I think I'm gonna try to see if I can style it up with those. I don't know, it might be too much going on, but let's see how it turns out. Not bad for Newberg. I honestly leave that Goodwill empty-handed more times than I do with this many things. It's not a Goodwill that I prioritize going to, but I am glad that I went today, and this is part of what's so fun about this series, not just for you, but also for me, because maybe I need to give some of these Goodwill locations a second chance. I want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. When I started my YouTube channel, there was a question that I kept getting over and over again, and that was, what website do you sell on? And I'm so proud to say that I have been selling on my own independent Squarespace website for over 8 years. Before I launched my Squarespace website, I was selling on other platforms, and I was limited to the ever-changing algorithms. Switching to Squarespace completely changed the game for me. I was now able to connect directly with my followers and creatively curate my website to represent the brand that I wanted to build. It has been such a fun, creative journey for me using my Squarespace site, which never stays the same. And that's part of why I love Squarespace. They are always changing things and adding in new features, new customizable templates, and adding in more powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These new third-party tools can help you manage your inventory, promote your products, streamline bookkeeping, reconcile and file sales taxes, and even ship your items across the globe. If you are a vintage seller and you are only selling locally, there is the rest of the world that you can tap into. It can seem like a huge transition to start selling your products online, but Squarespace makes it easy. Head to squarespace.com to start your free trial today, and when you are ready to launch your own website, head to squarespace.com/leftcoast to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks again to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. We are headed to one final Goodwill today. We are going to Tigard, Oregon. Oh, this is fun. This looks like it might be 80s or 90s. It's massive. Let's take a look at the bottom, find out who it's by and how much it is. So it is a Hager. I was wondering if it might be a Hager, and it's $12.99. We are absolutely getting this, and this is going to be a fun one to style. Look at how massive this thing is. It's awesome. I do like Hager and some of their styles. To be honest, there's not very many designs that I would keep and put in my personal home. I tend to be really drawn to Scandinavian pottery, Italian pottery, and Japanese pottery. Some American, but not that much. This might be the very first Hager vase that I've ever found that I think would go wonderful with my style at home. I love that it's a neutral color. It's got great texture to it, and then it also has a really cool design. To find a beautiful vase this size for $12.99, that's a good deal. Oh my goodness, look, it's another one of the ribbed glass jars, just like the one that I found in Newberg. This one is $3.99, and it's got a cork lid on it. Look at this. They basically match. They're not identical. They're slightly different colors, but they look awesome together. I'm so excited. I wonder if somebody had both of them or if I'm just getting lucky today. I don't know, but these are fun, and I'm gonna keep these. I'm thinking that I'm gonna put cotton balls in this one, and then I might put bath salts in this one because I can actually take the lid off and pour the bath salts into the bath. Such good finds. So I paid $2.99 for this one and $3.99 for this one. Oh my gosh, I know this art. This is called Scream or The Scream, and it's by Edvard Munch. I don't know when the original was made, but I think it was made in the late 1800s. This is interesting because the way that this is hung on the back makes me think it's really old. It's only $9.99. I don't know if I'm the only one that's a little bit freaked out by this artwork, but I know that my husband actually loves this piece. I don't remember the exact information if it's called Scream or The Scream, but I will pop in a picture here with the exact title, the artist's name, and when it was made. I don't know how old this is, so I'm not sure how valuable it is, but I actually think Jesse is gonna maybe want to keep this one. So I've got to take it home and show him and see what he thinks. It for sure is vintage just based on the smell of it and the way that it was hung. So I know it's worth at least $100. Not bad for only paying $9.99, and there's a chance that it could be worth more. I had to wait for 2 shoppers who walked right past this to move so that I could go and get it. I love the colors and the pattern on this vintage bedspread. This would be so beautiful as our guest bed cover. It's only $14.99. Look at this. Isn't this great? I'm so excited about this. Now, you don't just have to use these types of blankets on your bed. I actually have several that I use in my yard when I want to have a picnic with my niece or even just by myself because yeah, I'm weird. I picnic by myself, but my cats join me, so I'm not completely alone. And they also make really great throws to take to the beach because they're nice and thick and the sand doesn't really get through them. I'll insert a clip of a beautiful Middle Eastern rug that I use and I take to the beach with me every time. This one just has such great color and design on it. I'm really excited to test this out on our guest bed. The bed is not currently in the room that I'm showing you the clip of right now, so I wouldn't have to worry about it competing with the wallpaper. We've moved the bed into our loft and I think this is going to be beautiful in there. What a day thrifting. I'm so thrilled with my finds and I'm having so much fun going through the list of Goodwills and checking them off. You know how sometimes you get in a rut and you end up just going to the same places, or you do it with food and you end up eating the same meals every time because you don't want to spend the energy looking up a new recipe or thinking about what you want to do? Well, that's how I've been feeling lately with thrifting. I've kind of gotten in this cycle of going to the same few every single time. So I'm having a lot of fun getting out of that zone and hitting other Goodwills with you. We clearly have a ton more on the list to get to, so don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss when the next episode in this series comes out. And I'm also going to be making a playlist so that you can watch every one of these episodes in order or in any order that you want. That way they will be in one location and easy to find. If you are interested in purchasing any of the items that you saw me find in today's episode or any of my future episodes, I list all of my vintage finds the first Friday of every single month on my website, leftcoastrevivals.com. And if you want a sneak peek at what's coming before it hits the shop each month, you can subscribe to my newsletter at leftcoastrevivals.com/newsletter. That way you will stay up to date on everything that's going on. I'm already excited to get back on the road and hit the next 4 Goodwills. I will see you in that next pick and adventure soon.